This video is about a day trip I did a few days ago at Mashkinonje Provincial Park. It's approximately 40 kilometers west of Sturgeon Falls, Ontario. This is a non-operating park which has only really hiking trails. There are three access points. The first one on the highway, the Loudon Peat Bog access, has very well groomed trails and an overlook of the large peat bog area. The other access that I explored on this trip was the Blandings Pond access down at the south end of the park. The access is similar, except that the trails in this area are much rougher and less developed. However, the blazing in this park is terrific, and they have trail sections that go to numbered posts all over the place, which is really nice because you can then control how much of a hike you're going to do on a given day, and you can vary it from one day to the next. It's much better than isolated trails that aren't interconnected. So good for Ontario parks. The southern access, the trails in there do require some trail maintenance. There are a lot of deadfall and other things, and there needs to be a lot of the boardwalks, although they're sound, the growth has come right up through the boards. And so there certainly needs to be some done there to bring it back a bit, I guess. Both these, all this so far is free. They're looking for donations, but the park itself, there is no charge at this time to use it. They're nice outhouses. At the north end, Loudon Peat Bog access, there's a nice pavilion to sit if you wanted to. And all in all, it was a very nice day, and I certainly look forward to going back to this park. So hopefully you'll enjoy this journey with me, and thank you very much for watching. Mashkinonje Provincial Park is located approximately 40 kilometers by road west of Sturgeon Falls, Ontario. The road is a provincial highway and is easily traveled. You can access it either from Highway 17 on the north or from Highway 69/400 in the south, depending on your initial location. The park itself is split. There is a zone on the east side that encompasses the Loudon Peatland area, and then the region to the west is significantly larger and has a number of features. About 38% of this park is bog, and so there's not a lot of significant climbing, but it is a very rugged up and down terrain. Here is the northern version of London Peatland. You can see the trail, and again, this is the first example of the numbered post system, which is really helpful, although this doesn't make much difference in this particular trail. And you can, if you do the whole thing back in and out and everything, it's about 4 kilometers in total. And it's a very nice trail. There's a lot going on in here, and this is very well prepared, this trail, so you can snowshoe on it probably too, and I imagine even some of it is accessible with a wheelchair with larger tires. This is the south end of the park. I went in at the Blandings parking spot. I intended to go out to the west along the water, but at post 16 up in the north and post 13, I think it is, or 12, the trail was blocked because of flooding. So I went up along on the Red Trail, on the Heron Trail, and some of the smaller loops, and then back down. Because of the pain in my feet, I finished up down the road. Good morning. It's November 19th, 2021, and I'm here at Mashkinonje Provincial Park. And chance for a nice day hike before winter supposedly sets in with the weather. And this park is a non-operating park, but they've set it up pretty nicely. I'm going to show you in a few minutes what we've got here at the park area. And this is the Loudon wetland area, peat bog kind of thing. It's set up pretty nice, and you don't have to pay. So there's outhouse and so on. So we'll have a little look around and then start walking. Now here's the entrance. There's of course the outhouse, and then the trailhead right here with a poster and so forth. Nice looking trail. And then over here is a pavilion. You can have a snack. All very nice. And then a few spots to park. Not too much parking here, but then again, this is pretty reasonably remote. This is on Highway 64, about 40 kilometers west of Sturgeon Falls. Now let's go up here to the signs and see what's going on. So they're asking us to give some money, which is nice. So this trail is 2.9K, and it's going to take us through a peat bog. When we're finished that, then we'll come back out and go to the other trails. Let's go over here to the map. I don't expect to see too much in the way of wildlife today. Everything is smarter than people, and it's gone south. But this is the park here. Now you can see the circular region there is the peatland, and you can see it here also right there on the map, that bluish area. So this is going to be this trail here, and then we'll get back in the car and we'll come down and park here, and then we're going to walk some loop in this area here. So that's kind of the day. So I'm getting to the end of this first loop here at the Loudon peat bog, and you know, for 3 kilometers of trail, it's pretty amazing. A lot of beautiful landscapes, and it's not so barren. There's growth here, and I'm sure come the summer months, birds and what have you. So it's certainly worth another go. I also think this would be a nice place to go snowshoeing. The trails are pretty good, and you'd think that with a foot or two or whatever of snow, that shouldn't be too bad in here. So we'll see how it goes as the winter comes, but kind of nice. So I've had a nice beginning. Go back to the car and get a bit of lunch, and then we'll go to part 2. Well, hello. We're back at the, well, we're not back, we're at the second parking lot from the Mashkinonje Provincial Park. So it's just a nice little waypoint with some parking spots and some maps. I'm very impressed with what they've done here. Unfortunately, because of flooding, we've had a wet fall. Half this area is closed. There's 2 access points towards the water, and both are blocked. So I'm going to have to go pretty much along the highway, a little bit inside, of course, and change my route completely. Because of the distance I'm hoping to do here, I won't be able to make as many videos. But I'm keen to check this out, and hopefully you'll enjoy the ride. So this is post 16 here, and you can't get any further because it's wet. That happens. This park is really nice, and I can understand up here in the north it doesn't get a lot of traffic, but it does need some more maintenance, and this could simply be manpower. And I think that you see it here, for example, on the boardwalk. If you look behind me, you can see how it's overgrown. The trees growing right through the boards. That's been years since that's been looked at. Now the wood seems to be okay, which is nice. There's a fair amount of deadfall on the trail, and the pathway is just, you can just make it out in most cases. But you know, there is certainly been maintenance. There's trees cut and so forth, and maybe once a year. But this is the situation here in Ontario. I personally think that 86% of our parks are funded by the users, and I think it should be maybe 70 or something. I think the government in a province as rich as Ontario needs to spend a little more money on our natural wonders that are going to be here for generations. And I think bringing that fee ratio, say, to 70-30, which is pretty typical in a lot of places in the States, would be much more reasonable. And you see this, because the other problem too is infrastructure like this deck and so on gets put in, and then it doesn't get maintained properly because there's just not the resources for it. So it's too bad. I'd also like to see the parks open longer. We're paying for them, let's get to use them longer. Anyhow, but this place is just terrific. The blazing is excellent. So even when the trail's indistinct, you're all right because there's lots of marks. And the post system is really good. The post system is what you want to use. You see this in the Adirondacks and so forth. And so you have kind of a grid, and then you can you make your own hike based on how you connect the smaller trails. That's the way to do it. And good for them. That part of this place is really nice. So I'm having a good time here today so far. Got some pain in my left foot on the left side of it that just won't go away, and a bit on the heel, but the left side is the problem. And I don't know what's going to happen there. But anyhow, it's about +1 or 2, I'd say. It is certainly above freezing. So we get along pretty fair here today. You have to watch though, a lot of the rocks have moss on them, and because it's been raining, it is slippery and you can lose your footing. So you just have to take your time, and the trekking poles certainly help. This bog is huge. That's got to be a couple of kilometers down at the end there. That's a long way. Amazing. And there's a large beaver dam right along there that is holding everything back here. And of course the lodge just here. So I'm just past post 17 on the Heron Trail. Given the timing and so on, I think I'm probably going to go up to the lookout, which is probably another 500 meters, and then I'll turn around and come back, and then I'm going to probably bail onto the road instead of going through the complicated stuff, since I've already done it once anyway. But it's been a pretty nice day, and certainly look forward to coming back here when it's nicer in the summertime, when there's animals and stuff. There's nothing much here. There's some moose sign, so that's probably a few around, and that's about it.